Please give a warm welcome as I bring them on one by one from Opus Restaurants. Nice and loud, David Colcombe. Styling your very sporty glasses there. How you doing?
I can't see anything without it.
Please welcome next Michelin star chef Glynn and Purnell from Purnell's Bistro.
And Purnell's Restaurant.
And Purnell's Restaurant. And actually,
The clue's in the title, yeah? The clue's in the title.
okay, and joining you today, okay, we've got Richard McComb, restaurant critic, and he's joining you at Opus. Hello, Richard.
Hi, David.
Morning. Hello.
The enthusiasm is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And last but not least,
The greatest food critic ever.
I was going to say, if this man walks in your restaurants, you need to pay attention. Please give it up for the Birmingham Mail, Paul Fulford.
Those your groupies over there. We're going to do turbot, which is a lovely fish, and that's going to be cooked in apple juice with a little bit of tarragon. And we're also going to serve it with crispy squid, which has been rolled in airbag, which is actually dehydrated pork skin. So it's almost like a scratching. And you'll have a little bit of apple puree and some tarragon. So, David, we're going to crack on. What we're going to do almost like a little surf and turf. We've got some new season lamb, because we know all the new season lambs in. So we've got the brisket, which is usually a real cheap cut of meat, which we braise for about 8 to 10 hours, and then you rebound that in some cling film, and it'll set up, and when you see us pan fry that, and with that we're going to put a rich ingredient with it, which is some lobster with some sweet Worcester peas and some broad beans. So, Glynn? Right, so I'm shredding the squid. We've got our fryer on here, which is highly dangerous, so I wouldn't advise anyone to do it. So we've got that's going to come to about 180. We've put our fish, which is going to poach this in apple juice. We put a little bit of tarragon there as well, and you can use other fish if you want. Haddock, or you can use cod or pollock or any sort of more sustainable fish. We've used turbot because it's sort of a luxury fish, and you know, graced with a great food critic, we thought we'd splash out a little bit. Right? Thank you. So, David. Right. So what Richard's doing, he's got the tail of the lobster.
Tail of lobster.
Yeah, and what we've done is we've blanched that in boiling water, and he's just going to snip it hopefully without breaking the actual flesh. And then we've got the claws, which is just going to take through with the scissor, and then we're going to take the meat out of that. So we've semi-cooked that, so we can add it to our poaching liquor, which will have some white wine, some shallots, a little bit of fish stock, and some white wine. So that's the basis of the poaching liquor for it to be repo. Excellent job. Okay, yeah, beautiful. So this is a dish that we do at Purnell's, part of the tasting menu. And it's not that I'm here to sell my book, but it is in the book because I'm sick of saying that, to be honest with you. So yes, it's a dish that we do, and it is pretty simple. You can actually, if you wanted to, you pan either. There's a little trick that we use in the kitchen, which Paul's doing. He's using his one hand for the dry and the wet, and he's using his other hand for the dry. That's very clever, that is, Chef. Thank you. So what you got in there, David? So what I've got there, I've just got some broad beans poaching up there. I've got some peppercorn, some white wine, a little bit of white wine vinegar, some shallot, and we just reduced that down to a glass. So it all means just bringing it down to a nice reduction. And into that I've got some double cream, because us old chefs still got all the cholesterol going. I'm just going to reduce that down, and when we take the lobster later, we're going to re-poach that very, very gently in that stock, so all the flavours go together.
Oh, look at that.
So we're dicing some apple, which is Granny Smith apple. We've got a little trick at the end where we've frozen an apple, and to get the instant freshness, we grate the frozen apple over the top of the dish, which then sort of melts into the squid and stuff, which is fantastic. Are you enjoying that, Paul?
It's a lovely job.
give yourself a little bit of a swirl round.
Yeah.
Maybe put 2 or 3 in there and then mix them together. Beautiful. So what you got to do is pod those now.
How hard can that be?
That can just take them out of the skin, yeah?
Beautiful.
Alright. So what we want is the rest of you got all the lobster there, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, how are we getting on, Paul?
Okay.
I didn't realise Paul was counting the people on the deck chairs, because I think he's done enough for everyone. So if anybody wants to fill up those extra spaces, there's plenty of squid for everyone. Are you enjoying
Is that
it?
enough? Yeah,
That's plenty.
yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
I am very much.
Best thing to do now is to clean down and we'll regroup.
Okay.
Wash your hands, I've got a little bit of chopping for you to do. Okay,
Alright.
let me get rid of this for you, Paul. Great job you've done there. Wash hands in the back, Paul, and come
Alright.
back out.
So we're pan frying the belly of lamb. So as you see, the belly holds together from that slow braising, and all the fat has all gone out from the lamb. So that'll just pan fry, and all the lobster we've just added in to the liquor, so it just gently reheats up. With that, then when my friend here and Commie eventually gets the broad beans ready,
This is actually the key part of the dish.
it is a key part of the dish.
It
Yeah.
makes or breaks it.
We're going to add that to the fresh peas and the samphire. So we got some sea asparagus, so it just gives a little bit of saltiness to the dish at the same time.
Right, so Paul, your next little job is to
Yep.
chop these pick me and chop some tarragon. So we've got some apples on here which we've diced, which are just coming down with a little bit of butter and apple juice. Our fish is poaching nicely. Our fryer is about to explode. Paul's panade 3.5 kilo of squid.
I like squid.
I can see that. Huh? So he's panade the squid, a great job. And again, these dishes represent our restaurants, but also represent what's going on in the food scene in Birmingham. Always improving, always getting better, and obviously an event like this is fantastic. So I hope we're all having a good time. So that tarragon we use has got a little bit of an aniseedy flavour, and also goes really well with apple. So if you do a pork Sunday lunch and you've got apple sauce, rather than using sage, use a little bit of tarragon, which is a little bit different. It's got like a really aniseedy, almost fennel taste, which is nice. So, how far are you off, guys?
We're about 6-7 minutes off, chef.
Okay, well we can
If
basically
we can pick some of these herbs. Snip some.
Organised.
This will look good.
Strike a
So if you
pose.
pick some of the, so we need to pick some dill, yeah, and then just snip some chives with those scissors, and then just pop them into that sauce there, yeah.
So, Paul, we're going to put that in the last minute. We've got ourselves a little bit of apple sauce, which is basically apples are peeled, cooked down with a little bit of butter, and then just basically pureed. So we're going to put that in with our apples. Bit of butter. Our fish is cooked, and then we're just waiting for the nod
That's good.
off the gents. Just before we're away, Paul will put the tarragon right at the end, because it's warm, it will actually cook the tarragon and start going a light brown colour. Just want to keep it as green as possible. Take our fish, and they're ready to go. So you just need to let me ready, and I can drop the squid, it takes 2
Drop the
minutes.
squid, chef. We're tying together there.
Okay, Paul, I'll drop this because this is danger. So basically you're going to see these pop up, where's our little, we'll get ready with that. They should pop straight up. Got ourselves some serious residual heat going on there. So the squid goes in. So this dehydrated pork is going to pop up like cross between scratchings and popcorn. It's going to give the dish so much texture, and you'll have the texture of the. Put that there. Okay. It takes seconds, a minute or so to cook.
Looking good, chef. Looking good.
So that goes like that. There we go. So you see, it looks like magic.
Beautiful.
Smells so good as well.
You
There's
nearly
no-
ready to play, chef?
Let's go start plating now. Yeah, let's go. What's nice is who doesn't like pork and who doesn't like crispy squid? If you do, you're in the wrong place. So a little bit of seasoning. So we've got a little bit of rock salt, which is going on. Also, I use rather than using pepper, I use ground ginger, which gives it more of a sort of aromatic taste rather than just heat. So we just put a dust of ginger on there. And obviously that comes from my being brought up in Birmingham, trying to use spices in the Western way. Paul, would you like to drop me some tarragon in there for me, please? So put it in there, give it a little mix for me. Fish. Just going to take out the cheese.
So what we're doing, put the brisket on the plate, just pan fry very gently. Then we've got the lobster tail with some nice fèves, petit pois, some of the sea asparagus over the top, and then we're going to finish with the lobster claw and the herbs that we've added in. But I think that's what you did, didn't you?
The lobster claw looks
Lobster.
amazing. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Nice crispy squid goes on the top. So it's that texture, because we're not pan frying it, so we want a little bit of texture coming from somewhere.
Very nice.
And then Paul's going to grab a couple of pieces of watercress and what we call in the trade John Terry me. So basically just come and take all of the credit after I've done all the work all season. Do you want to come on, John?
Go on then. I'm good at that role.
Please do not sleep with my wife. Please. Oh. Because if not, you'll probably write a review on it. Sorry, I just couldn't resist that. Okay. So a little bit of watercress, a little bit of pepperiness to that. And
Alright,
then,
chef.
You ready? And then for the pièce de résistance is now, a second. We take an apple, which has just been put in the freezer. We grate it over the top, which gives it a little bit of acidity and that different temperature as well. So there you go, my dish.
Beautiful.
First is turbot poached in apple juice with pork covered squid and a little apple and tarragon compote, frozen apple, and David.
And then we got slow braised lamb brisket with lobster, gently poached with samphire, peas from Worcester with some broad beans.
And two fantastic commie chefs as well, ladies and gentlemen.